in the previous classes, we discussed about the how to add the HANA databases into the HANA Studio, right? So then, so after that, how to add the tenant also into the HANA Studio is the monitoring tool. Then, so using the this one, we can do the monitoring and so checking the status of the memory, space, memory, processes, right? All the information, configuration, information, right? Log files, checking the trace files, and all those things we discussed about this one, right? So today we'll discuss about the HANA licensing part here. HANA licensing part here. What is mean by licensing here, right? So HANA software is not a proprietary, not a free open source software here. HANA is not a free open source software here, right? So it's a so so it's a HANA software is not a free open source soft. It's not a free actually. It's a proprietary commercial software here, which means we need to purchase the licensing from the SAP here, right? So here there are the two types of licensing we have in SAP. Two types of licensings. So right, it's very important. One is the temporary license here, temp license. We will call it as the temp license here. The second one we will call it as the permanent license here. Permanent license here. Temp license and the permanent license here. Right? So what is mean by temp license here? Right? So whenever you install the HANA database here, by default, so by default, you will get the 90 days license period. 90 days license period here. Whenever you install the HANA database, by default, you will get the 90 days license period here, right? So that is the main important thing here, 90 days license. Okay. So which means within this 90 days, you need to renewal the, so you need to apply the new license we have to apply it here. How to apply means go to the HANA Studio, right click, go to the properties. In the property section, you have the license tab. Here license here, right? So there is a by default as part of the installation, there is a temporary license will be installed. That will be the 90 days. You can see. So September 16th, it got installed. December 15th is the last day, expiry date here, right? So, so here you need to apply, go to the service marketplace, take the hardware key. Based upon the hardware key, you can apply the license here, right? If you apply the system DB, automatically the tenants will take over. Tenants will be applied here automatically. Okay. So means it will take tenants will the take over from the system DB here. Okay. So this is the way we need to apply the license here. Okay. So but after the temporary license within the 90 days period, you need to request the permanent license. Permanent license you have to apply it here. In the permanent license, there are the two types here. One is the enforced. Second one is called the unenforced here. Enforced, then unenforced here. So what is meant by enforced and unenforced here? Simple logic here. Enforced means there is a limitations. There is a limitation here. Unenforced means there is no limitations. Prepaid and postpaid here. Simple remember. Prepaid and postpaid here. Right? Enforced means the hard stop when the license. Actually, HANA licensing is based upon the main memories. HANA licensing is based upon the main memory here, right? So how much memory you want to use it, you need to purchase the license for that much of memory here. It's not like that based upon the users, based upon that one. HANA memory, HANA licensed memory is based upon the main memory. How much RAM you want to consume it, how much memory you want to consume it, you need to purchase the license for that much of RAM. That much of RAM you need to purchase it. Yes, right? So enforced means limitation, limited memory here. Enforced means limited memory here. Suppose example, you have the HANA system here. So then you have the RAM slot, 1 terabyte, you have the RAM slot here for this host. Then what will happen? So, but you have purchased license only for the 900 GB only. Even though you have the free memory, you purchased the license only 900 GB only here. Then HANA start consuming the main memory. Why? Because all the data resides inside of the main memory. So it's consuming the main memory. It will keep on filling. So when the limit is reached here, when the limit is reached, why? Because you purchased the limit 900 GB only here. So it's a hard stop when the license memory is exceeded. When the license memory exceeded, then HANA will be locked from the operations. It will not allow any connections, right? It will not allow any connections here. So limitations here, right? So that is the enforced. Unenforced means, so no service interruption, nothing. You can use the remaining free memory also, you can use it here. So soft limit, the only you will get the alerts, but no service stoppage, nothing here, right? That is the based upon the contract, based upon your licensing budgeting, you can purchase the you can purchase the licensing from SAP here, either enforced or unenforced, right? So there is no expiry. You can define the expiry date for both 999 and permanent license. You can apply it here, right? So which means 12 31st, then 999 you can apply it here. This is the end of the licensing, which is means unlimited permanent license here, right? That is what you are going to set it for this one. This is only for 90 days. After 90 days, your license will be expired. System will be locked for operations. Even you cannot log into the SAP system also here. In case of the licensed memory limit is over, licensed memory limit is over, you cannot log into the system also here. That is the main impact. Okay, so that is the main purpose is that, so in case of the licensed limit is over, you cannot so log into the HANA databases here. So HANA licensing is based upon the main memory. How much you want to consume, you need to purchase the license for that much of memory. How much you want to consume, you need to purchase the license for that much of memory here. Okay, that is the main important thing here, right? So there are two types of permanent license here, right? So one is the temporary license. Second one is the so permanent license here. In the permanent also we have the two types here. One is the enforced, second one is the unenforced. So limitation, prepaid recharge cards here. There is a limitation, right? Unenforced means postpaid. There is no limitation. You can use it. How much you want to use it, you can use it here. That is the unenforced licensing limit here, right? So this license we can apply from the system DB. So system DB, you can control, like if you want to stop the HANA database, if you want to restart the HANA database, you can do it from the system DB. If you want to apply the licensing, you have to do it from the apply the licensing from the system DB. If you want to change the parameters of this tenant database, you want to change it from the system DB. So everything can be controlled from the owner. Owner is system DB. What is the use of the owner? Managing the all the tenants, managing the all the tenants by using this one here, right? That is the licensing part here. Okay, so based upon the main memory usage, you need to purchase the licensing from the SAP Marketplace. Licenses and keys, how we apply for SAP. Similarly, we need to take from here as well. Okay, so this is the HANA licensing limit here, right? So the next one is the so HANA HANA OS level file systems here. HANA OS level file systems here, right? Operating system level file systems here. That is very important. Before I go for the next topic here, HANA SAP HANA OS level file systems here. OS level the file systems here. So why? Because whenever you do the HANA installation or SAP installation, so HANA will create or SAP will create the some folder structure at the operating system level. This is very important to check the logs, to check the something. to investigate. This is very important here, right? So SAP HANA, so OS level, which means where it's part of the installation. Installation can be done using the which tools? Which is the tool to use to perform the HANA installation?
HDB LCM.
SDM.
Okay. So how many ways we can install the how many
Three
ways
ways.
means three ways, right? Yeah, that is the one. Either command prompt mode or GUI mode or web mode, either way. But the important thing is command prompt mode, which we have to do the installation here, right? So when you do the installation of the HANA system here, by default, some folder structure created. This is common for either SAP or HANA, right? US or SAP, the SID, the file system will be created here. Under that, you have the US or SAP SID, then they are the file systems are called the SIS. They are the file systems are called the HDB instance number, same as like SAP. Then here the home directory will be created. That is not much important here. So SIS will be created here under the SID. Okay. So here under the SIS here, under the SIS here, we have the folders are called the SIS exe. For HANA also there is a exe, right? Then sys profile, there is a profile directory for HANA also, but we that is not much be used here. Then there is a directory is called the global directory. Inside of the global directory, there are the some security settings and everything. But here main important thing is the HDB custom. Inside of the custom config, here you have the INI files are available here. Sir, you said like all the parameters we have to change it from the configuration tab. So any HANA related controlling the parameters, everything we can change it from here. Sir, suppose example, HANA is down. Then how the studio will work and how can you change it from the studio? Right? That is a great question, right? Then what is the way to other way to do the changes from operating system level? You can log into the operating system level. In the operating system level, so you can do the changes here. Operating system level, you can log in the operating system level. You can log in and you can do the changes here. That is the main important thing here. Okay, so here you can do the you can log in and do the changes here. That's what you can check it out here. Okay, so in that case, what you have to do here, you can log into the operating system level. So if you do the HDB, okay, so you can go to the CD slash USR SAP, right? Under the SAP, you see LSF and LTR, you see the HDB. That is the HDB is the so instance which we have installed it here on a database. That is that we installed it. Go to the CD HDB, right? Inside of the HDB again we have the sys, right? And the HDB instance number. How we have the DV instance number, ASCS instance number. Here also we have the D instance number and home directory. That is fine. But sys under the sys again, if you go to the under the sys again, you have the so you have the profile, global directory, and exe directory. HANA kernel files. HANA also there is a executable files. All the executable files will be here during the installation time. HANA will parse the means will extract the kernel files. That kernel files will be in the exe directory here, right? The profile directory. So profiles it will contain, but main important thing is the global directory. Inside of the global directory, there are the some security settings here, and along with this one, there is a HDB, then CD, the custom LSF and LTR to list the files, then CD custom config here. Here you have the INI files here. So one way to change the profile parameter INI files, the HANA process related files are here. The another way to change it from here in the so in the using the HDB custom config here. Here You can open in the, that's why we discussed about the commands, right? You can open in the command prompt editor, VI editor, go to the file. That's why we discussed about the editing the file, permissions, folders, why we have given. So it's not given simply, it's given like, so it's, we have changed it everything here, right? So not sure what is this application user is equal to someone p. So, but so like that, if you change it from there, here also it will be reflected here. If you change it from here also, it will be reflected here. That is the main important thing here, right? So that is the way we can do the changes in the files here, right? Here how you do the changes here. Here also we can do the changes in the, so in the HDB custom config here. The people will ask you the this path here. So can you tell me the path at operating system level to change the INA files here? Right? You need to tell like USR, SAP, SID, sys, global, HDB, custom config, right? How I remember, do you have to remember this full path? You have to remember it here. That's the main important thing here, right? This is the important path, right? So that is the one thing here. If you want to come back to the one folder, then you are in the config, come back to the custom here. Then cd dot dot slash come back, cd dot dot slash come back, cd dot slash come back, cd dot dot slash come back here, right? Then you are back to the again USR SAP SID here. Folders, that is very important here. Then HDB CD HDB instance number here, right? So then whatever the instance number, you will get the HDB instance number here, right? Here these all are the environmental variable, some settings. EXE also same EXE, and that is the same EXE, that is the common. So but the main important thing is the inside of the host name KPS4 HANA, inside of the host name here. So you have the important directory is called the, so trace directory. Important directory is called the trace directory. Remaining and other not much important, but important directory is the trace directory here, right? So trace directory, sir, what is meant by trace directory? Means your diagnostic files directory. Your diagnostic files directory, sir. In the HANA Studio level also, if you go to the diagnostic files, there also we are checking the all the files, folders, everything, right? Then why again here also we are checking means, so this HANA Studio will take the files from the trace directory only. Whatever the files we have, name server history, name server topology, name server this one. So whatever the same here, here also we have the similar files are available here. Whatever the log file is there, similarly all the log file also available in this case here, right? In this case, it is also available in this case here, right? Name server history also available here. So whatever the log file here, here also we have the similar files are available here. What is meant by log file here? Log file means whatever the sorry said like uh HANA Studio is HANA is up and running from studio level. You can do whatever you want, but HANA is not available, sir. Then how can I check the log files and everything? OS level, there is a main folder is called the trace directory. In this trace directory, you have the all the details are available here. Whatever the log file here, if you want to check the name server log file, you want to check the daemon preprocessor, so a preprocessor, web dispatcher, access engine. So then index server, if you go to the tenant, DB underscore tenant SID, then you can go to the index server and access engine related log files here. Then you can open the index server, right? You can check the logs, what's happening with my index server, right? You can see the index server, you can see the index server, what's happening, are there any errors in the index server, right? All the information will be displayed in the, all the information will be displayed here. That's what we can see it here. Okay, that's what we can see in the configuration part here. Okay, so that is the, so OS level file system structure. In that very important directory is called the, under the instance you have the host name. With the host name there is a folder will be created. Inside of the host name there is a trace directory. This is the very much important directory here. This is what the we need, right? So entire OS level file systems, what is the main important folder that is a frequently asked or frequently every day we'll go to this folder, check the logs and everything means the trace directory here. sys, exe, profile, global, and HDB and home directory. So this is the thing we got it here, right? So that is the main important directory here. HDB
Uh,
instance.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Sir,
We
please share
can't
your
find your
screen.
screen sharing.
Is it lost? Sharing?
Yes.
Yes, loss.
No, I'm sharing, right? Not let me reshare.
I can see it.
Yeah, for me, I can see it is sharing only. Maybe lost. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. It is visible
Yes,
now.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying here, this is the very important directory here, trace directory. Operating system level, this is the very important directory. So this is what we need to check the log files trace directory, right? So tenant db underscore tenant one, tenant two, all the tenants will create the separate folder. Each tenant we have the access engine index server that will be created here, right? That is the important thing here. All the log files. So trace directory is the very important directory to track the information and everything here. Okay, so that is the main important thing here. Trace directory here, right? So this is what operating system level where you need to troubleshoot the issues and everything means. Sir, HANA Studio, we can check it out, right? Yes. But in case HANA down, what where to check it out means operating system level. So that is the final one where all the logs will be stored into the operating system level in the form of trace in the folder, trace folder here. Here you need to check the so HANA related thing and everything here. Okay, that is the one of the important factor here. OS level file system structure here. So here kernel files are exe means unrelated binaries. Index server, name server, preprocessor, those are the up and running means because of that those binaries are up and binaries are there at executables are there at the exe directory. That's why it's running fine here, right? So that is the main important thing here, right? The next one is called the so delta merge. Okay, the next one is called the this is very important concept here. These all are the small concept actually, right? So delta merge concept here, very interesting concept, the delta merge concept. So what is mean by delta merge? Right, so delta merge is the internal process to move the data, to move the committed data from delta storage to main storage. It's called the delta merge here. Why means the main storage is okay. Let me explain this way. Okay, normally delta merge. So actually, the main memory is divided into the two parts here in the RAM slot. So every table we have the deltas DS and MS, right? DS means not the delta storage, and MS means the main storage here. Entire your RAM memory is divided into the DS and MS, right? So delta storage and main storage here. So whenever any data comes to the HANA database level, first it will be executed in the, it will be saved into the delta storage here. Why? Because delta storage is optimized for read plus write plus compression factor here. But main storage is only read plus the compression factor will be applied here, right? So normally you open the IRCTC, you select the ticket, then you book the ticket, payment is done. Once the successfully the transaction is committed here, all till the committed, till the before the commit, your transaction will be here. Once your transaction is committed, the committed data will move to the main storage level. Only main storage level when if the transaction is committed. Committed means then the database language that is called the committed, right? In our layman language that is called the completed. In the transaction is completed, then that will go to the delta storage to main storage here. Why? Because actual data will be stored into the main storage level only. The columnar main storage level actual tables will be stored here. Already the saved data, already completed transactions will be here, right? So that's why you cannot directly write anything into the main storage level. Instead, you will write the data, the queries transactions will be executed into the main storage level first. Then if the this here if the transaction is committed, then only this data will go to the main storage level. Then it will be saved into the actual data level here. Actual the data level it will be saved here. Okay, so that is the main important thing here, right? Sir, main memory you said like main memory is like a volatile memory and all the data storing into the RAM level, that is fine. But you also explained like there are some file systems are called the slash and a data slash and a log. Sir, why we need again OS level file systems are required? Anyhow, data is storing into the RAM level, right? Then why again file system level we required? Right? Why? Because the data is there in the file system level, there is a lag or there is a delay to fetching the data. But if the data is there in the RAM memory level, it is very speed. Then why again you introduce the file systems main? The concept of this one is like a so RAM is a volatile memory here. What is mean by volatile memory, sir? New word I am hearing. What is mean by volatile memory here? Right? So volatile. So what is mean by volatile means here temporary memory. Temporary memory only here. RAM, right? When you observe it here, whenever your operating system is 100% is getting full, when you do the restart, all the data will be gone. Right? All the data will be gone, your system will be very speed. Right? So because your RAM is only temporary memory only. Whenever you do the restart, all whatever the data, whatever the terabytes of data, it will be gone to somewhere. All the terabytes data are gone, right? But in this case, then my data is going out, right? It is the hardware, not sure when the crash happens and when the crash happens and when the corruption will happen. Then how my data will be saved securely here, right? So that is the reason as part of the delta merge. So first all the transactions will be executed here. Why? Because the delta store is read optimized and write optimized and there is a data will be compressed. Compressed means 2 GB data will go to the 60% of compression. So it will go to the 60% of 70% of compression. Then data will be size will be reduced. Then if the transaction is committed, then it will go to the main storage. All other data also will be saved into the here. Why? Because you cannot write, the person cannot write the data. The person or system, they cannot write the data directly into the main storage level. Instead, they need to write into the here. Then as part of the system internal operations, once the transaction is committed, the committed data will go to the main storage level. Why? Because it's a only read and compression factor here. Then data will be saved here. Then your transaction is done. Then to keep in the mind, HANA is a temporary, RAM is a temporary storage area. If you do the restart, all the data will be gone. Suppose example, if you see, suppose like here example, let's see the here example, free iPhone G. What is the usage? 20 GB is the usage of the memory here, right? What I'm going to do, right? So date. Now I am going to stop the HANA database here. Then what will happen? Whatever the data is used by RAM, whatever the data storing into the RAM, everything is gone. Everything is deleted. Everything will be refreshed out. Everything is flushed out here. Why? Sir, why it is taking the some time means, so now it is, everything is gone. Now, if you use the free iPhone G, now you see, sir, now only 2 GB. Sir, where is the 20 GB data? Now, after stopping, where is the 2 GB data? Sir, what's happening in my system? Before the stop, 20 GB RAM data is there in the 20 GB. 20 GB data stored into the RAM memory. Now, after the stopping the HANA database, everything is become to the zero, almost near to zero. Sir, what happened? What happened means whenever you do the HANA restart or HANA stop and hardware folder, whatever the data storage in the main memory, everything will be flushed out. Flushed out means it will be removed from the main memory here. So then again my data will be gone, right? No. While removing one copy of data every 5 minutes once, one copy of data will be saved into the data folder level at the operating system level. This procedure we will call it as the save point interval. This will happen every 5 minutes once. Every 5 minutes once, the save point will happen here. So whenever the transaction is committed, the transaction come from DS to MS. It will be stored here. Then after 5 minutes, again same data will be saved into the data folder level. Why? Because we cannot trust the RAM that we know. Then immediately it will save the data into the data folder level. By default, it will be the 5 minutes interval only. So if you want to increase, if you want to decrease, you can decrease it. But default SAP recommendation is 5 minutes. It will save the data into the data folder level. That is the reason whenever you stop the HANA database, first it will write all the data into the data folder level. Then it will go stopped status and everything. Right? So now what will happen, sir? If I click on the HDB start now, like I am starting the HANA database. Sir, why it is taking the time here means, why it is taking the time means, here all the data, whatever the data in the data folder, it is reloading to the main memory here. It is reloading to the main memory here. All the data is getting reloaded. Data means data reloading. That's why again your data, everything coming back to the normal status here, right? Data is reloading here, right? See here, that's why it's taking some time. And also you can also observe the this how the data is loading and all the information in the trace directory. In the trace directory, you can see the log files here. But because data loading means it's in the index server only. Trace cd trace, then directly you can go to the index server. Index server log file. So here you can see the trace, the open the trace here. You can see the all the log files and everything here, right? See here the log files are executing, loading all the data, table reload, service startup, table reload is done, table reload is done. 5 tables are loading, 6 tables are loading. So it will load the data here, right? It is started. You got the prompt here. So when I use the free -G here, so somewhat some memory got used here. It's keep on live, keep on running status. Then slowly it will go to the 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 20, 30, 40 GB also it will go around, right? So it should be keep on rounding here. Then this way you can see all the logs, you can see it from here. All the logs you can see it from here, how the data is loading and everything here, right? So here also we can see the save point here. Save point interval also you can see it here, right? Save point interval. What is mean by save point means? So whatever the data storing into the RAM memory level here, whatever the data storing into the RAM memory level here, so memory level here, all this data will come to the data folder level every 5 minutes once. In case of data system is crashed, you have the data in the data folder level. Then you can, whenever you're starting the HANA database, then all the data tables will be reloaded to the main memory here. Then that will be happen in the systems here, right? That is the one of the important things here, right? So if you wait for the 5 minutes here, there is a save point will happen, right? Save point will happen in the systems here. Maybe you can also see the logs here, save point. Every 5 minutes, the save point will happen here. If you wait, so that's why I used the tail command. It will display the latest lines and everything here. So now 916 database is started, right? Not 916, 2208, right? 5 minutes. Then 22:012, 22:12, 22:12. So it will start the So it will start the, it will run the save point here. 22. And in another 2 minutes, then there's a save point will occur here. Another 2 minutes, there is a save point occur. Just keep see this one line, there is a save point will happen here. That's what it will happen in the systems here. Right? Whenever you stop, everything will be dumped to the data folder level. Whenever you're starting, then everything will be reloaded from the main memo. So from data folder to main memo. That's why it's taking time. That's why whenever you issue the stop command and start command, HANA will take some time to start up and shut down. Because before you shutting down, it will cleanly write the data and it will cleanly reload the data and everything here. That is the main important thing here. Okay. Another minute maximum, the save point will happen. Every 5 minutes, the save point will happen to the database level.
So Ravi, in this whole process, where which process is the delta merge?
Which process the DeltaMerge?
Yeah.
DeltaMerge is for the deep data level, not the process level. Maybe HANA level, HANA index server level. This process, all the operations will run. Why? Because index server is the main process. All the operations will run on here, right? So index server is the main process here. You can see. So 2212, there is a save point will be happened here, right? The current save point log version 121. Then if you wait for another 5 minutes, then so there is another 5 minutes, there is a one more save point will happen here. The log position reach to the the data folder level, operating system level here. So whenever anything is happens, you can recover the data up to last save point. Up to last save point, whatever it happened, you can recover the data here. So these are all the data storage calculations, everything will happen to the at index server level. Why? Because all the data resides inside of the index server. So index server is the main process to store the data, calculate the data, deciding the data, all those things. So this all the operations also will happen in the index server only. Okay. So that's why this is some kind of important concept here, delta merge concept. It's all are the all are the internal operations here. Why? Because there is no external system itself will take care of this operations. There is no manual or intervention for this one here, right? That is the main important thing here, right? That is the main important thing here. Suppose example, sometimes HANA will receive the thousands of sales order in a minute. So SAP will receive, right? In that case, each inside delta storage table and headers information, so that so sometime so configured threshold value, so there is a lot of hitting, lot of insertion will happen to the database level here. So that is the reason, so we have to save point will happen to securely store the data from file system level as well as the DB level here. Sir, if it is the HANA level crash, memory level crash, the data storing into the here file system level. If the file system also crash, that's why every day you are taking the full database backup here. Full database backup of the data folder level into the external devices. Through external devices, at Tivoli, Commvault, some other Cohesity, using this one, he will store that. Say that some third party companies, they will take the backup of the your database file systems. So they will store into their device levels. They will store the data here, devices. So devices, they will store the data into their level here, right? In case of something is happens, it will be stopped here. In case of something is happens, then we can pick up the data from here. Why? Because this memory and the file systems both are in the same hardware only, right? So in case of something crash here, that is impact the file system also here, right? In case of RAM crash, file system, even file system also crash, then we have the backups. That's why backups outside, the external people will take care of that part. Why? Because if the backup also internal, the entire OS is gone. What is the measures, like even memories, data will be gone, file system data will be gone, backups also gone. That's why we need to take the backups outside of the your box. Outside of the box, we'll take the backups here. That is the main important thing here. Okay, so this way the memory keep on increasing to the HANA database level here. Okay, so that is the delta merge and save point interval here. Okay, delta merge and save point interval. Then one more small topic I'm checking. Yeah. So here, if you see the right click on the HANA database level here you can see the configuration and the monitoring. Administration means the administration tabs will be opened here. Similar tabs, only administration tabs here, right? Then backup, the backup related information and all the details here, right? So folders, these are the folders here. Then you can see the life cycle management here. Life cycle management means, so life cycle like LCM tools. We have the two types of LCM tools here. Application management, normally no one will use it actually. So platform lifecycle management. If you want to update the HANA components and everything, you will use the platform lifecycle management here, right? So this is the platform lifecycle management. If you want to update the HANA systems and everything here, we use the platform lifecycle management here, right? So using this platform, we can we can open the HANA lifecycle management. We can view the system information. We can update the system component from one version to another version. We can install the new components, add-ons, and plugins here. We can add the systems. We can download the component. We can uninstall the component here. So like that, we can see the in the lifecycle management. We can see it here, right? Normally, it's not required. So we have the other way to do that one. So other way to do that one here, that is the operating system level. We can use the commands to upgrade it here. This is the application lifecycle management here. Application lifecycle management means, so suppose if we want to do the installation, if we want to do the HANA username and password, so any transports or any data, if you want to move it, you can move it here. Here, Access Engine is taking care of the request here, right? That is, but not required from here. OS level commands we have to use to do that one here, right? So then backup and recovery we'll discuss. Security that we will discuss. That is fine. Then here backup folder also we are going to discuss. Then next one is the catalog here. You can see the catalog. In the catalog, we have the inside of the catalog. I think this will take time. Yeah, I think you can till now OS level file systems, HANA licensing, and DeltaMerge SavePoint. These are the topics very important here. The today's topics, whatever we discussed, file systems, license, and DeltaMerge, and SavePoint interval. It's very important, these four topics. Then in the next class, I will explain about the where the actual tables will be stored in this schemas. What is the provisioning? What is the security? So all those things I will explain it. Okay, there are a lot of things are there to discuss. Oh, HANA upgrades, HANA restore, backup, restore, recovery, high availability, replication, DR, oh, HANA cockpit also we have added. provisioning, security, a lot of things are there to discuss. Okay. But this concept, you can just practice it, very important, this concept. So these things, but because any issues, you have to go to the file system level, licenses also, delta merge, license, save point also, you will not do anything, but you need to understand, so how the data coming from, how the data is storing into the RAM memory level, fine. But RAM is the temporary storage area only. Sir, you said like HANA is a in-memory database, all the data resides inside of the RAM memory only. Then what will happen, sir, if the system is crashed? HANA is crashed, then all the data will come to the data folder level. That's why for data volume, we discussed like 3 into RAM size. Why means is 3 more than 3 times of the RAM, because all the data sits into the slash and the data folder level at operating system level. In the operating system level, you have the CD slash HANA, then data folder. In this data folder only all the data resides. So we cannot delete or you cannot do anything here. If this is crashed, then you cannot do anything here. Then you cannot recover the data also here. This is very, very important directory structure. SAP also, all the data, whatever the data front end you do, SAP will do. That's why SAP also made a comment, don't touch files inside of the directory. Very, very important thing here. All the data resides here. Okay. That is the main important thing here. Okay, so that's it, guys, for today. And please check the logs and review the logs and check the process, understand the concepts and everything. That is the main important stuff. Okay.
Yeah, hi sir, I have one doubt.
Yes.
What is the purpose of log volume?
Log value is very important. Maybe point in time recovery purpose, we have the log value here. So normally data volume, actual data resides into the data volume here, right? Whenever the transaction is committed, the committed transaction before writing to the here, first of all, one copy of data writing into the log folder level. Why? Because the data is writing into here, after 5 minutes it is coming to the here. But before writing into the main storage level, it will write into the log folder level. What it will write? Changes about the log, what has been done and anything, it will write into the here, right? So which means the log contains the changes about the data and everything. But actual data resides into the data folder. What data changed, what transaction is changed, what data inserted, what is done, that changes will be in the log folder level here. So sometimes what happens, when the, just assume here 9 o'clock the data reached to the here, right? So then 9:50 the data should come to the data folder level here. But in between the data reached to the here at 9 o'clock the data, but it's not saved into the data folder level. Then main memory, the HANA database is crashed into 9:2. Then another 3 minutes it will write the data, but it's not writing the data, it will be saved into the data folder level, main memory level only. Then HANA restarted, what will happen? The 2 minutes data will be gone. It will be deleted from the main memory. Whatever the last save point data is happened, only that save point data will be in the recovered to the main memory. That time, what will happen? First, it will reload the all the data. Then after the 2 minutes before the crash, whatever the data is written into the log folder, that will be replayed, re-executed in the main storage level. Then next save point that will be come to the data folder level here. So that's why log we don't require much space. That's why maximum 512 GD. But frequently it will write the data into the log folder before coming to the delta main storage, the data written into the log folder only.
So in the log volume also the committed changes will be there.
Yeah, yes, log volume also very important. Why? Because after the save point, what transactions are received to the, what transactions we received it here, what transaction is committed, what transaction is not saved, all the data will be in the log folder level. So
And
that's why we should not delete
committed
the
data
log value.
also will be there in the log volume. You
Which
said
one?
like once it is committed, it will be moved to main storage. And before it is going to main storage, it will be replicated to log volume as well. whether
Replicated means what changes are
copy.
done, what is the log, what that changes will be in the log. That changes will
So
be in the log
whether it
value.
is committed or not committed, everything will be saved in the log volume until the
Log
save
value.
point happens.
Right.
And what about roll forward and roll back?
That's what. So whenever when you are starting the HANA database, so something is happened 9 to 9:12, 9 to your data got crashed. Okay. So your system got crashed, but last save point happened in the 9 o'clock only. So which means here in the data folder level, so 9 to data only, 9 o'clock data only there, but 9 to data was crashed, which means in the 2 minutes gap data will be gone. But what data we received it, those data will be in the log folder level. So whenever you are starting the data, whenever you are HANA starting, what will happen? All the data will be loaded. Then whatever the data it's not committed, that will go and roll forward, and roll back statements will be executed automatically. Means whenever you are starting the HANA database, after 9, what transactions are correct committed but not saved into the database, it will go and roll forward, and it will be saved into the data folder level. So the transaction is not committed, but in that case, the not uncommitted transactions will go back to the original status here. Right? Committed transactions will go forward and will be saved into the data folder level. Example, you are booking the ticket. You have opened the ticket and selected the seat, payment gateway. Your transaction is completed. When you are getting the confirmation, your network or server is down. Then you know that is completed, but your transaction is not completed, or completed ticket is not booked. Then if you wait it, your amount also deducted from the account. Then not sure whether the transaction, sometimes what happens, then in this case, so whenever there is a committed, the transaction roll forward roll back statements will happen. Then in that case it will check, okay, internal operations, okay, you have booked the ticket, transaction is committed, when you selected the seat everything is given, but seat confirmation you did not get. If you wait for some time, you will get the seat confirmation and ticket also to your email. But you completed the transaction but not booked the ticket, means the transaction will go roll back to the previous status. Means it will go to the ticket will be the available, then whatever the deducted amount will be back to the return status, maybe next 24 hours or 48 hours, the amount will be refunded. But the ticket, the seat is available for others as well here. That is called the rollback. Roll forward means it will go back and book the ticket, you will get the receipt. But roll back means, so the transaction is completed, but it's not committed, then it will go back to the previous status, original status only. Yeah. That's what the rollback and roll forward. So
Okay.
this will happen when you are starting the HANA database. So first it will load the all the whatever the last save point, all the data will be loaded. Then it will check what transactions are in. It will go and check in the log folder. In the log folder, it will have the clear record. What transactions are committed but not saved into the data folder level, that will go and save into the data folder level. Then it will check what transactions are not saved, not committed, that will go to the original status here.
And you said while stopping itself, the save point will happen.
Yes.
If you want to stop 100 dB, then the save point will happen automatically, irrespective of the save point interval.
Right.
Right. So whatever the committed changes will be there in main storage, they will be copied to the
Yes. Yes.
data volume, right?
Right.
So while starting itself, if even if it checks the committed changes, they do not require to save into the data volume, right? Why? Because while stopping
Yeah,
itself,
it's not required. If the open transactions are there, that will save. If not there, then nothing will happen, right? This is you are formally doing the stop and start. That's why. But sometimes suddenly system will go down. That time,
okay, so that time
suddenly
they will
down.
be useful. Okay,
That time, suddenly. Hardware
okay,
failure happens suddenly, right? It will not
yes.
intimate, right? Hardware failure happens and not sure, right? So this log folder knows. Why? Because whenever it is coming to the here, first it should have a record in the here. Then only it will save into the here. Then it have a record. So this records knows This one knows here, okay, up to here, saved the data, then up to 4 transactions in that 3 are committed but not saved into permanently not saved into the data folder level. It will go forward, roll forward. Forward means ahead. Then it will save into the data. Okay, one transaction it's not completed. He selected the seat in the payment gateway itself. He consider the transaction means it will go roll back means so roll back to the previous version and everything. Yeah, that's what. It's a tricky
Okay.
part actually to understand this one.
Yeah, fine. And so whatever, my question is whether it is copied to from Delta storage to log volume or from main storage to log volume.
So,
Whatever.
whatever it may. First of all, it will delta storage to the operation will start. So once the transaction is committed, so before it's storing the data, one copy of data storing into the log folder level here. Once it is stored here only, then the data will be stored into here. Simultaneously, it will happen. Simultaneously, it will happen. So it will first it will simultaneously it will send the one thread to here and another thread to here. Then so both are in internal coordinate, and if you save it here, then only it will save the data into the here. So which means so delta storage to log volume it will write it in your so in your understanding. So it will write the data first it all log volume only, then delta storage.
Uh, but they're not the same data, right? So why? Because only the committed whatever the
Committed
data.
data. That's why it will coordinate. So it will coordinate and it will before saving the data to here, it will save the data into the log volume. Then only it will save the data. Otherwise, it will not save the data into the main folder level. So, but
Whether
once the data is saved here, after 5 minutes, same data will come to the data folder level.
whether it is committed or not committed, that will be copied to log volume. But only if
Log
it is
volume.
committed,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
only
yeah.
it will be moved to main storage.
Right. Only committed data will move to the main storage. Whether it is committed or not, whatever they in the dustbin, everything will come to the log value.
Okay. Sir, and one more. For every 5 minutes, the save point will happen, right? So,
Yeah.
so just assume that save point happen now, and in the next 5 minutes, again it will happen. So, whether it will check whatever the changes will happen between these 5 minutes, or will it copy the entire main storage data into the data volume?
So last save point to the now current, whatever the changes are received, only that changes will be moved. Why? Because the previous save point completed means all the data moved to the data folder level. Then only the save point will commit. Otherwise, the save point will not run. So that is the main thing. So last save point to till now, whatever the data received to the committed data we received to the main storage level, only that data moved to the data folder level.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir. And one more doubt regarding license part. So, about enforced license. So, just assume that we have purchased the license for 30 GB. Suppose if we use completely, then the HANA will be locked, right, sir? So, the connection
Yes,
between the application and HANA DB will be broken.
right.
Suppose if it is the case, then how to check whether it is just assume that I am not aware of the license part. I just want to from the trace files only we need to get that information, or from HANA Studio
HANA
or from
Studio, it will say like HANA Studio, when you are connecting to the HANA Studio, it will say like your license limit is reached. You cannot able to log in something like that. In the HANA Studio also, you can able to, in HANA log files also, you can say like license memory limit is over, something like that. You will get the issue. Okay, then in this case, you need to apply the license. Right click and properties, you need to apply the license.
suppose if I want to delete and if I want to apply, then do I need to restart the HANA DB?
Not required. Licensing is not required to restart any system or any services. Just immediately can apply it.
Just assume that there is a change in the installation number. For that, I have to.
You
Uh,
don't require any ANA license. You don't require to restart it. So it just dynamically can apply. In the even instance number changes also you can apply. It will not affect any operations.
Even if it is completely occupied, then it will be locked. Suppose if I want to purchase one more 10 GB additional license and I will apply, then it does not require any.
Right. That is not anything.
Okay. And do we restrict any memory in suppose if we purchase 32 GB, suppose if I want to restrict the GB to utilize until 25 GB, why? Because if it is used 32
Memory
GB,
parameters, right? We have the memory parameters. Like yesterday we
the
discussed about the
global
memory.
allocation limit is only the purpose of global allocation limit is for how much the HANA DB will
Restrictions.
be.
Yes, restrictions. How much you want to use it, how much you want to use it. That is the restrictions. You can keep the restrictions by changing the global allocation limits and all those things.
Is that one parameter is enough, sir? If I keep it 25 GB, then it is allowed to use until 25 GB.
Yes. Once the 25 GB is crossed, immediately your HANA system will crash.
Will it be crashed or will it be notified whether it
System
is
will
GB?
take care, system will crash it. Why? Because you set the threshold, then immediately memory dump will come. So you will see like memory dump, like HANA system is crashed due to memory issues and everything.
So
Again,
to,
you need to
if that
restart.
is the case, then what we have to do, sir? We have to stop and start, or
Which one?
suppose if I set the limit as 25 GB, if it is completely occupied.
Completely occupied memory, it will be reloaded to the disk main memory to disk storage again.
Yes.
Reloaded. It is unenforced.
Okay.
Unenforced, it will be reloaded. Reloaded. Unenforced means unlimited. So which means memory limit is also over means the data from main memory to disk storage, it will be reloaded. Unloaded to the disk storage level here. So whatever the new data is coming, that new data will be loaded to the directly. It will not be in the main memory. So system will be very slow.
Okay. So whatever the data is there in the data volume, everything will be loaded into the main memory. Like suppose assume that we have RAM
First
is
main
32.
memory it will be loaded, then only it will come to the data volume as part of the save point interval. Okay.
No.
So
Uh,
whenever you are restarting, the frequently accessed data only will be reloaded to main memory only.
Okay. Is there any settings, sir? Like in the suppose if we talk about SAP application server, there we have the table technical settings, right, to store into the buffer. So do we have any settings here? Only these tables are will be reloaded to the loaded to the main memory, or do we have any settings we can see, or that is the internal?
Manually we can set it out which table should be in the main memory, which table should be in the buffer, which memory in the data folder level. That manually we need to load it, unload it. By default, there is no automatic setting. There is a manual procedure we have to perform it. So that topic will come tomorrow. In the tables topic, when I explain it, that topic will come tomorrow.
Okay. Sir. Thank you.
Okay. So that's it, guys. Thank you.